Virgo, this is your November 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is on the sign, this is for you. Thank you for joining me on my channel. It's Romy here. So we're going to open up this month for you with the energy of justice. This is a new era and it's new energy, and the new energy is stronger than the old thoughts and patterns and beliefs that you've held. And this month, there is a resiliency about you. I see you standing strong, Virgo. It's a month where I see you refining and realizing what matters and really being able to access a greater degree of peace and balance. There's a necessity to focus on what you need instead of what you need to do. And I think that simple shift in your thinking helps to create more harmony in your interactions, in your attitude, in the way that you're dealing with things, what you're having to face. Now, we have Saturn stationing direct in Pisces on the 4th of the month, and so the floodgates open, so to speak, and a lot of what has felt incredibly held up or even a little stagnant is now getting a green light and a little bit of a new lease of life. But the important thing is about the lessons that we've learned. And remember, Saturn in Pisces is asking us, how do we rigorously devote to the most wild and limitless dreams that we have? And so the combination of these two is in fact kind of echoing through that energy of justice for me, because you're just finding this note, you're striking the right balance with something. And what you've learned powerfully over the last few weeks is that your self-worth is no longer something that needs to waver or falter based on the flux of external circumstances and perhaps, external opinions or influences. We have the Nine of Pentacles coming in. You're facing it, you're owning it, you're remembering it, you're deciding upon it, you're believing in it. I just have this incredibly determined energy around you. And one of the things about Scorpio season for you as it lights up that third house is it really brings a level of magnetism, which means that it's an incredibly powerful time for you to communicate, to look at your network and the ways in which you want to perhaps expand, who you want to kind of align with. And part of that, because remember, third house is about the way that we think. There's a huge amount of reprogramming going on for you in the month of November. Now, Venus shifts into Libra on the 8th. And again, that sort of helps with this unwavering self-worth that we've worked so hard, so diligently to sort of protect and nurture. It also, from a perspective of interactions and wanting to see progress in some of the key relationships in our world, also brings much more of a sort of calm energy with it. November as a whole has a sort of refreshing, cathartic feeling. And despite the fact that we continue to be challenged, and if we look in the wrong direction, you could be forgiven for thinking there's not a lot of positivity and optimism to be found, but you do have a choice in the direction with which you want to look. And what I see happening with that Nine of Pentacles is a determination, a perseverance, and a persistence that pays off. It's almost like you are taking this decision of reprogramming. I think, returning to anything that really supports visualization and NLP and, all of the tools that I have no doubt over the years, you've explored and some have worked incredibly well for you. But what I see happening is you creating this imprint of what it is that you want into your subconscious, and it's incredibly powerful through the month of November. Now we're going to see the 1111 portal arriving. It has a Mars opposite Uranus conversation happening, which loves to shock. It also creates a little bit of a tug of war. There's competing ideas and forces that can create some disharmony, and sometimes with all of the voices and all of the opinions, we've got all of these swords kind of coming in to get to the heart and the root of something. It can, derail us if we let it. But at the same time, I also think it's helping to clarify for you, because as you may feel challenged in the information that you receive on that day, as you are seeking so powerfully to reprogram and to create this imprint for yourself, it just brings about this doubling down in terms of how determined you feel, or what it is that your beliefs are, what you're thinking about. And, you will find a way to be able to either shut out that white noise, or to even come to terms with the fact that, you know what, your choices and decisions are going to have a reaction, but knowing that still won't stop you, because you have come to a place where, from a heart perspective, you realize you want this. And as simple as that sounds, like sometimes we need to kind of revisit things to sort of really test the degree to which that desire is still alive and burning within us. And, when we realize, yes, this matters to me. Yes, I want to stand for this. Yes, I want this. What it means to really know what you truly believe in has such a power and a force with it. That, even with some of those competing forces and that sort of tug of war energy, I feel you overcoming some of these setbacks. And in spite of recognizing how they may cause some disruption, temporarily in your pathway, you're still choosing a timeline that's coming in on a frequency that's more elevated for you. And I think that's incredibly important. Now, we will see the new moon in Scorpio land on the 13th of the month, coming in at 20 degrees. And we've got another opposition with Uranus, this time with the sun. And so this kind of erratic, slightly unpredictable behavior continues, but all of it underpins this kind of desire from Uranus to bring about an awakening. And around that new moon, remember, it's a reset. A reinvention. It allows us to, rise like the phoenix. So anything that we have felt has come to an end, or perhaps we've intentionally burnt to the ground. We now have this opportunity to kind of step out, a little bit like the energy we have in our solar returns, to kind of completely give ourselves the freedom to change our mind, to change our heart, and especially the third house for you, the willingness, the openness to change your mind is incredibly important. Now, the Hanged One comes in because I think what your guides are trying to do here is get you to see something from a totally different perspective. And that might be really illuminating, with Uranus, sort of impressing and kind of challenging you almost a little bit provocatively. And for a moment, it might have you stopping in your tracks. So around that mid-month, you might get that real wake-up call. And then you might just be quite grateful that you hadn't necessarily charged ahead or moved too much down one specific road or path, because now you know what you know. There's something else that is going to hugely influence you. And that's in a positive way, because we talk about the spiritual awakening that can happen when we're working with that energy of the Hanged One, the Hanged Man. And it's got a very Neptune influence. And remember, again, with Saturn stationing direct in Pisces and having that rulership of Neptune, we really are reaching for new ideas, new inspirations, and we're kind of transcending our limitations. And around that 11:11 portal, the new moon in Scorpio, there's a very galactic energy that we can tap into with Uranus. So we're receiving downloads, we're having conversations that feel so much more beyond like anything that we've ever sort of given ourselves permission to consider or reflect upon. And again, that can really challenge the status quo and our comfort zones a little bit. But it's necessary, and I think it's all part of this sort of reprogramming energy. Now, you may feel a little bit slowed down at that mid-month point, okay? Don't worry though, because November as a whole has this green light energy, this movement, this directive that's really helping us to kind of make up for lost time is what I want to say, you know. And so even if we have that temporary pause, or we feel like our hands are tied in regards to something around mid-November, I feel like there's a higher destined reason for that. And so don't fight it too much, kind of allow that energy to almost reveal itself to you and the reasons why. And I think it will become incredibly clear, okay? Now, as we make our way towards the 17th, we have a really fortunate, lucky kind of conversation that's playing out. Mars is trining with Neptune, as is the Sun, and then the Sun conjuncts with Mars the same day. So it kind of, again, we've got the energy of the Hermit here, which does link into your sign. Again, what it's showing is this ability to be able to access and reach for information that feels way beyond your time, that feels in a way it's offering solutions and an approach that's going to help you to deal with a particularly tricky or challenging problem. But most importantly, it's also going to give you the wherewithal, the wisdom, the knowledge to know what the action is that needs to be taken. So again, that pause is again to help illuminate the information and then gear you up so that you do have the freedom to be able to make those changes. Okay, so remember what I said, like the new energy coming through is so much stronger than your old thoughts, patterns and beliefs. So even where you may feel this could never happen or it's impossible that it could ever come together in this way, November is one of these months that wants to show you, wants to prove to you that that is possible, and that, you know, there are forces beyond what you are able to see or even necessarily at this point that you can truly comprehend or believe in. Now, not only have I got 1111 energy activation for you to work with in November, I'm also strongly feeling into the dragon energy. We're using a couple of dragon oracle cards this month, and I've also created a Dragons of Light meditation. So to tap into the wisdom and the guidance that's coming through from these higher dimensional beings is so incredibly important through the course of this month, because what they also do is they bring this kind of almost like preview of the energy we'll be working with in 2024. And you'll get fragments of it, you'll get pieces of the puzzle. The moon is unlocking something deeper, something that has been hidden, okay? And that needs to now come to the surface. So the truth that arrives through the month of November is supposed to be a little bit earth-shattering. It's supposed to kind of shake you up and wake you up a little bit. And, you know, it really, again, helps to facilitate, especially for Virgo this month, this knowing that this is what I want, okay? Now, the moon can sometimes bring in a level of confusion. And I think it's not necessarily a confusion that's coming from you, but I think the situation as a whole that you might be involved in, or something that, you know, is going on in your world through that sort of mid part of November onwards, is creating some sense of potential imbalance around you, because it's just almost like a smoke screen. And it could be, if you allow it, like a distraction that's wholly unnecessary. I just kind of feel like it's like noise that we just want to shut out. Now, Pallas Athena shifts into Scorpio on the 19th. And remember, as the asteroid goddess, she's working with strategies and plans. And the incredible insight that she offers is there to kind of uncover and discover and get to the right heart and the truth of the matter. And with it, we come up against infinite possibilities where we have felt like perhaps there was only one way forward. So again, where you might be experiencing some confusion or uncertainty around a specific scenario that may be kind of messing with you on an emotional level a little bit, I feel like the arrival of Pallas and Scorpio, kind of with this ruthless, relentless determination to kind of show you, and brings about the revelation from the moon energy, will put you back in a position where you feel more secure and you feel more empowered to be able to know what it is that you have to do. Because there's definitely an energy of ensuring that, you do take the action through the course of this month. Remember, Saturn stationing direct, the taskmaster energy, is saying, like, last time we did this, or when we come up against themes like this before, there was a better way, or you hadn't fully understood, or there was a lesson to be learned. And, in the retrograde season that we went through with this planetary conversation, that's what we were kind of going back over and poring over and realizing and learning from. So I do see you ready and able and informed and having opened your mind enough to be able to take the action. But remember, there's still always a component of feeling like we're moving into the unknown. Yeah, there's always that sort of sense of, we can't be fully informed with absolutely everything that's going to play out for us in every given moment. And so, that means that we're also left in positions where we just kind of have to trust in ourselves. We have to make decisions that we feel are the best and the right ones for us, the people that we love, in terms of the sort of priorities or the values that we hold. And I do think you might find yourself in a position through the month of November where you are having to act in that way, and perhaps a little bit independent. You might not feel like you've got a huge amount of support. You may feel like, well, the buck stops with me. I'm going to have to step up here and decide the best thing to do. You will rise from that. You will find the energy within you. You'll find the trust, and you'll be unwavering, I think, in just kind of taking a stand and sort of moving forward. And remember, because you have this kind of incredibly magnetized energy, it also is going to make it much easier for you to kind of have influence, and not in a manipulative way, far from it, just in people really hearing and understanding what it is that you want to share, why you're doing what you're doing. And, even if you still feel a bit challenged, I think you still are able to get people on side in terms of what you're seeing is the right way forward. Yeah. So we have a full moon in Gemini arriving on the 27th at 5 degrees opposite Mars, and it can create somewhat of an unsettled experience, as we do feel like we have to defend or justify. News and information messages are also going viral, like things are kind of exploding, and that will be felt on the collective and also down to the individual level. So, if you don't want to get it, if you don't want it getting out there, then, mindful of who you share something with, or the vehicles that you use to transport or transfer information. But I do think, the mercurial influence of Gemini that, identifies with your mercurial nature actually really helps you to disseminate and kind of, again, uncover the truth, reveal something that's going to be really important, not just for you, but for people that are very close to you. And again, puts you in a strong position in terms of some of the choices and decisions you're going to have to make, because you see where something's going. So there could be a course correct, or a change of mind or heart or strategy that, around that full moon becomes crystal clear to you, even if to others it still feels like they're not quite sure, or they're still feeling a bit doubtful. I think you're going to have that energy of just like, nope, this is where we're going, this is what's happening, this is what needs to be done. If you're new to the channel, Virgo, the last 3 cards we cover in the extended version of my reading. We talk for another 30 minutes. We also look at a personal question and a relationship card for you. So you can find the link in the description and comment section underneath if you're resonating. I'm just going to go ahead and clarify this main reading and see the direction that some of these messages are going to be going in for us. 2 of Cups, Knight of Wands. Now, November is also the month where I put out my seasonal offers, okay? So my sacred titles, my deck, my book, Goddess and Angel reports, and also the very limited edition number of guide and gift readings, which are one-to-one personal recorded sessions, giving you preview energies of 2024. Will all be available with offers through this month. So please check out my social media and also my website to get all of the details and ensure you don't miss out on those offers. Got lots of major arcanas coming through again this month. Sun, 3 of Wands, beautiful. what about this Hanged one? 9 of Cups. King of Swords. Okay, now all the decks I use are also listed always below. Moon and the Wheel of Fortune, interesting. And another 9 of Coins, beautiful. I mean, some of the revelations and some of the surprises that happen like through that middle part of the month with Uranus actually seem to work really in your favor as well, with those 9s showing up. Okay, let's have a look at some oracle cards. So this is Life Soul Vision, which is my own deck. Again, on offer through the month of November, so please have a look. We have Waterfalls of White Light. Portals of Possibility. We have Crown Energy. Enlightened in the Exhale. We have Queen of Fire, Sacred Inner Flame, and we also have Earth, Medicine, and Magic cast their spells. Okay, and let's have a look at our Dragon Oracles. So please check out my Dragons of Light meditation. If you're already working with these energies, you're curious, you know, this is a beautiful journey to take to kind of really explore their teaching, their wisdom. Earth Dragon clears your path and the land around you. Is perfect for you, Virgo. One more for the month of November. Okay, we have Crystal. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a beautiful month. I'll see you next time for our final soul story of 2023. I hope you'll join me in the extended and check out my seasonal offers and meditations. Thanks for all your support this year, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.